So Zach, I want to know. Bring us back to the beginning because we all want to know what was it like starting your collection? Because what you did when you did was way before everyone else, right? Like, obviously, everyone here now knows like PSA 10 being the shit and being the top of the top, and what we know now being the population of PSA 10s. But when you started doing that, there weren't the it was different. It was just so drastically different. People weren't going after 10s the way you were. So what was the market like then versus now? And do you think you in a million years you could do the same goals if you started today versus when you started?
I mean, like you said, it's just totally different world, different environment. I mean, it truly was for the passion, for the love, the memories of 1999, the nostalgia. You go through college and high school, it's a different world, and you're working, you're trying to find, meaning and things that you enjoy, and you're kind of just shooting shotguns, just that approach, just seeing what works, what doesn't work, and there's so much passion around that age group for us, 8 to 12 years old, I think was for most of us. And, I think you give Pokemon a shot, out of nowhere, and it kind of just hits every feeler, every nostalgia, just feels like home. And the goals were small, at first, the first thing I started collecting was when I got back into it was PSA 9 first set of base. And, for me, $100 a card was really the most I was willing to spend. And if it was more than that, I thought it wasn't a good deal. And if I got an $85 first set base PSA 9 holo, it was a great deal. And that was kind of my, litmus test. And, from there, I ended up expanding the goal to be PSA 10 jungle and fossil. Ended up trading all the 9s to Gary for shadowless 10s. And you kind of start with 3 sets and 5 sets and 6 sets, so it was never like, hey, let's have this big goal or feat. I always thought maybe it would happen eventually, but it was kind of like what I remember as a kid, what's meaningful. I think getting into going beyond Rocket was kind of a challenge because I had some gym cards as a kid, but they didn't really resonate home. I think as a kid, when you see a gym card with the leader in the bottom corner, it was like kind of a little far gone from what was a 99. That was like, mid to late 2000. So it's kind of hard to pursue that past that goal. And I think when WotC sort of had their transition, that was an easy place for me to say, all right, this is as far as I'm going to go. The EX stuff's cool, but like, this is where I'm going to stop because it's no longer as meaningful as it was as a kid. But, for years, you don't really share it. You kind of kept it private. You had coworkers. I didn't tell anyone, didn't really tell my parents. They were like, why do we have 5-10 packages coming home? And so, I lived at home for a couple of years, through the early stages. Just made sense with job and stuff. And until Pokemon was kind of cool again, I didn't really tell anyone. So, are we still live, by the way?
Oh, we're still alive.
Oh, I had no idea we were still live. Oh my gosh. I thought this was like a private little, okay. No, it's cool. But so I literally thought it was like the 6 of us just talking. No, but that's kind of what it was. I mean, that's, it was like the hobby, the passion. And I think there's been these kind of like hurdles over the years where like you have these people that come in for the money and then they leave, or, their intentions aren't like as pure as like, I think maybe my intentions were when I first entered. And I even wavered a little bit. I mean, I did a Skyward box break earlier this year that was like, made a lot of money, and it's like, the incentive is there. But, when you come back to it, if all the cards are worthless, the friendships and the things that have come over the years, those are all bonuses. Those aren't things I expected. The hobby and the cards you collected, those just kind of hit the feelers and nostalgia that make you kind of feel at home. And there's so much more that the hobby has to give. And you don't really see that or realize it until you participate in it and you do it for things that aren't for the money and all that stuff too. So let me just pause there. I know that was kind of quite a bit.
No.
I think that last part that you said was absolutely awesome, and I 100% agree.
And the fact that you didn't know there was 300 people watching it is even better.